to another RecTech demo day, and I'm joined today by eTeki. We've got Amanda Cole and Hans Bukow on now. And good morning, Amanda and Hans. How are you today?
Great, thank you, Chris.
Good morning, Chris. Thanks for having us.
Excellent. So first of all, tell us what eTeki is. Why don't you give us a quick definition?
Amanda, did you want to do it? Okay, I can do it. Yeah, basically we're a marketplace for interviewing on demand, global in nature, service US primarily and India markets. Been operational for over 5 years. And we basically help clients get expert technology interviews on demand over the internet.
Yeah. Amanda, who's kind of your ideal client around this? Like, tell me about who should use it and why.
Yeah, enterprises that are looking to hire large volumes of technology professionals, and interviewing would be a project constraint internally from actually getting the technical work done. We are an outsourced trusted partner to be able to get those candidates validated on video with both technology experience and their competency assessed as well. Both project managers, hiring leaders, recruiters, and enterprises, as well as staffing firms, use eTeki to qualify their candidates.
Yep. Okay. Well, Amanda's going to show us a demo today, so go ahead and share your screen, Amanda, and we'll get started.
All right. I will fire up the engine here. And
Hans, feel free to chime in whenever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Sure. Oh, it's in green. There we go. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
I gotta make you the host, I think. Right.
Please turn me on. Yes. All right. So, welcome to the eTeki Marketplace Interview Dashboard. We, for time's sake, are going to edit a job that I already got started. Let's say you are at Facebook or, ABC company, and you need to have a .NET developer screened so that you can validate their technical experience and competency. Enter a rec number, the job title, when you expect to make your hiring decisions by, what area of expertise this job is related to. In this case, it's application software development. The skills that we're going to assess are .NET for Web, ASP.NET MVC, ADO.NET, .NET Framework, and JavaScript. Let's throw working in an agile environment in there. Either paste your job description or upload a file, either one, whichever is handy, and move to the next step. Here you're going to give the interviewer any special instructions. So, please make sure to fully address the aspects of MVC, right? Maybe there's 3 or 4 additional points that the buyer would like to let the seller know in terms of the interview. You can select the country of the interviewer or just leave it blank to see all available options. Language preference, 99% of the interviews that were done are done in English. Why? Because English is the business language of the world, but there are other languages also. Then going on to adding the candidate, you're going to provide basic contact details, a resume to provide context to the interviewer on who they're talking to and what type of responses that they should anticipate from the person based on the resume. Giving us their time zone so that the system can automatically schedule a mutually available time between the interviewer and the candidate. We do have a compliant SMS workflow here, so candidates can get interview updates that way. Add times of availability. Candidates available Saturday at 4 p.m. and proceed to the next screen. Now this is where the magic is, and Hans, feel free to really jump in here, but the ability to see who are the interviewers, what is their bio, and who is it that that's going to represent you is the key here. And
Yeah,
I'm having internet issues. Are you able to?
The one point to interject here, Chris, is that it is a marketplace, right? Which I think makes it quite unique. Mm-hmm. The fact of the matter is that we have a tremendous shortage, obviously, of IT talent out there. And, for scaling purposes and for availability, really opportunity to conduct these interviews, we need, as big a reach in terms of finding interviewers with different skills and availability as possible. So a balanced marketplace of demand and supply will obviously allow this to scale, to grow into different markets. It is an important aspect of this. And in comparison to other products that are available that are mostly about the platform, we obviously have the platform. But then in many respects, we also have the talent base to conduct the interviews.
Hans, talk to me about that talent base for a second. Like, who are those people? Are they all over the world?
Yeah, we have about a little bit over 6,000. The number continuously rises. Most of them are freelancers, but on occasion, we do see individuals that work for other IT staffing firms. It becomes a monetization ability for your bench. And it's, I think it is over 100 countries, 110, I think was the last number I saw. Mm-hmm. So it is truly a kind of a talent pool marketplace, along the lines of, some of the modern models like an Uber or anything else where it's on demand when you need the availability. That gives you a lot more options. Especially, we're still early here, we're growing, but the bottom line is the platform is set up with which to include interviewers participating and getting into the system. So that's, I think, one of the key elements of this proposal with eTeki is it is a marketplace. We do have ability to bring your own interviewers in. It's not as much the emphasis because obviously there's a shortage, mm-hmm. and you don't want to necessarily use your own personnel. I mean, I've got friends out here that are talking about how, they've been asked, people in companies been asked to set aside, as much as 25% of their time to conduct interviews, which obviously they weren't hired with that emphasis. I mean, it's really about getting IT work done. But with the way the world is today, and there's so much demand for ability to appreciate and assess individuals, you need to find plenty of people that can conduct the interviews, right? Besides your own personnel, yeah. which were hired to do a job done, and you don't want to, spending all that time interviewing.
How does the recruiter get paid, and kind of what do they make typically when they do an interview through your platform?
Yeah, the freelancer, we have two offerings. We have a self-serve offering, which just launched, which is what we're talking about mostly today. Mm-hmm. We also have a managed service offering where we kind of help establish and manage the process. And there's a lot of little details, right? Somebody notifies last minute they're not showing up, establishing a backup interviewer. But rates are right now kind of proposed by the interviewer. We work with those rates. We kind of distribute it around so that enough interviewers get enough work and stay motivated. There's some tricky elements to a balanced marketplace. Yep. But, once this scales up, and I have some experience having been the founder of a company called eWork. In the day, eWork was very competitive to a group called Elance and Guru. Elance became Upwork. Sure. And eWork in Scandinavia and in Europe is nearly a $2 billion company now, established on the marketplace principle. So the cool thing about it is that, at some point downstream, when the scale is large enough, people will be able to set their own rates. They'll be able to self-manage it. We have that ability with self-serve kicked off here, which will grow. But we also have this managed service approach where we use our own marketplace, and then someday also have other managed service providers that could layer on top of the eTeki platform.
Very cool.
Thank you, Hans.
Sure.
So thanks for that technical difficulty shift. My internet connection was shaky.
No
So I've
problem.
logged back in, gone right back to the job that I'd started, and I ran some adjustments on the filters. Kind of loading, it came back with pages of results, just of kind of anyone who has been in here and has a rate from $50 to $325. So here I want to refine a little further. I want to make sure that from a candidate experience and from the other users that I'm getting at least a 4-star experience. That is something that after the interview report's picked up, we ask our buyers to rate the interviewer. We also ask candidates to rate the interviewer as soon as they've completed each and every interview. We have a technology advisory panel and peer review community that do random quality control, as well as programmatic trigger controls reviews, and also provide feedback to those interviewers on the work that they're doing as freelancers here. This person looks within my budget, $70 for an interview. I peek in and look a little bit more at their professional summary. Looks like, based on the highlights here, that there's common availability with my candidates. I'm interested in knowing this person a little more. I'm going to watch the video bio.
So these are not necessarily recruiters, they're actually developers, things like that you can hire.
Yeah,
So
peers.
these are interviewers. Yeah, they're role stack match to the screening needs that you've entered into the system.
Okay.
So, .NET for web, ASP, .NET MVC, JavaScript, ADO.NET. It's going to pick all of those up, as well as any of the related skills when the matches are coming in, so that recruiting community doesn't have to be technical in order to find the right interviewer for their screening needs. Obviously, speed is of the essence. I see here that Laszlo is available at the same time that I've listed for my candidate. I'll select that interviewer and then get a recap of when the interview is happening, who are my participants, if there's any discount code that I have for the eTeki service fee that comes along with the interviewer fee. Then I enter that here, maybe Chris 25. And then, it's because I haven't put that coupon in yet. If you would like a coupon for your viewers, let me know. We can put you one in.
Yeah,
and then just proceed to
Rectech
checkout.
code.
Rectech, okay.
Yeah.
I will do that. Let me show you a completed interview. Obviously, the magic sauce of what happens there is the interviewer. So we're keeping humanity in hiring by ensuring that the logistics are automated, but rather we keep the conversation as the key component. So the conversation will happen, and then the recruiter would come in and pick up their interview report. Now, that was the recap. Here is what the finished product looks like. So LP, Laszlo, talking with Eric candidate, scored Eric's skills in the area of .NET, ADO.NET, .NET Framework, ASP.NET. As a new user or someone who's coming back in from not using it in the past day or two, if I need to go back and look at what are the specific competency and experience scores mean, I have that as a reference point. And then if I've got a question about this, the optional skills. So I didn't ask for any optional skills, but because they were talking about these things, Laszlo went ahead and inputted a score for AWS. And I might ask images, deployments, gateway, microservices, architecture, how deep is the experience with AWS versus the topics covered. Okay. And then it'll send a note back to my interviewer that I've got a question I need them to answer,
Mhm.
and that'll be turned back around by the interviewer with a response and adjustment in the comments if necessary.
The recording, Amanda, is that done through eTeki, or is it a separate upload, or how does that work?
It's done through eTeki.
Okay.
It's done through our secure video portal. So you order the interview is conducted, and you pick up the results all in one secure platform. I can either share the interview with ABC Company Manager by dropping in their email address. It'll generate a user secure access, and then I will take the link and passcode off of the PDF report. Same version, same report. And let me copy that. So hiring at ABC Company. And I'll pull the passcode off the sheet. This you can just put into the body of an email versus my copying and pasting I'm doing now. And then that same interview report is now visible to the hiring manager that you want to see the scores of the candidate. Some hiring managers will sit and listen to the whole thing. Others might play in a double playback speed, the way that they consume a lot of the professional development videos.
Cool.
Once that's been sent over, we have to just rate the interviewer. Great job with the report and conversation. Now, at that point, the recruiter, if they want to track how they're doing with screens done through eTeki, they can certainly come back here, take a quick peek and say, this person's been interviewed by the hiring manager. Next time they're in, they can let us know about either an offer or a placement. And then over time, you'll be able to track your ROI using eTeki interviews to fuel your placements.
Okay. How does one become an interviewer?
Interviewers sign up on our website, eTeki.com, and the interviewers go through a onboarding process, which includes a phone screen, video training on interviewing compliance, kind of those legal do's and don'ts. They get training on candidate experience, report writing for recruiting professionals, hiring professionals, and then they have a technical interview of the interviewer and kind of where the individual is within that onboarding process is visible back on when the job is created. Let me see here. I think it's right here. And Laszlo is a certified interviewer, and I don't know why, but maybe in this test system he's not marked as such. But there's a blue badge around Laszlo's picture for when you're in our production account, and there's an orange bag if they're in the training mode. If they've just registered and haven't gone through those steps yet, then there's nothing around it. But that way you can track and see and make your selections based on what level of onboarding they've gone through as well.
Yep. I'm curious, Hans or Amanda, is this when someone does an interview through this, is that interview kind of like, does that happen like after the phone screen initially? Where does this sit in the actual workflow of a typical enterprise recruiter who's going to use this? Good
question. This would go after the recruiter has done a phone screen to confirm that all of the eligibility factors kind of have been confirmed.
Yep.
When a candidate is otherwise shortlist ready for a hiring manager is when a lot of our clients use it. Some will use this as their level 1 interview. Some will use it as their only technical interview. It just depends on, the individual company, how they have their processes structured. Oftentimes, companies can go from, 6 interview rounds with 3 of them being technical down to, 3 interview rounds with 1 technical, because they have optimized their hiring process with eTeki.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we don't have obviously any set limits. It's it can be utilized for interviewing in other circumstances as well. Clearly, if you want to appreciate your own staff, just to understand what their abilities are, and you can't necessarily feel comfortable doing that, or a brand new skill, that no one in your company really knows about, machine learning or something that's kind of a little bit more cutting edge.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of variability in usage.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I like the marketplace aspect here. I think you're onto something there, and this really helps to. I think the benefit here is really amplifying your internal recruiting team and bringing on these tech interview skills they typically may not have. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
and why not let someone who's been in the trenches doing the technical work take that component, while recruiting and sourcing focuses on how to bring more in, because we know that the talent shortage for companies is one that many are struggling with today. Let this technical qualification fall to the individuals who have done that kind of work, but don't burden the hiring manager with everyone on the short list, right? Instead of 5, you submit the top 2 most qualified. Instead of 3, hone in on the one that you believe is the best.
Right.
Yeah, and you can imagine some of the optimizations, utilizing offshore talent to do interviews for more commodity-like skills, and getting a lower price point for actually conducting all that, or bringing more volume through your processes. So there's some interesting cross-border issues. We're really the only ones positioned these days to handle cross-border, and do operate quite a lot of interviews. I think Amanda's correct that more than half of them are done in India. And obviously the volume and the access to a lot of IT talent. So there are some other interesting things that obviously come out of the marketplace on a global scale, very typical of what's going on with the pandemic, but obviously apply to interviews.
Yeah. Did COVID kind of spur you to create the marketplace, or was it already in the works?
No, it's been around for a while.
There.
Yeah, actually, I get asked that question, and the origination of the idea really was from an internal need. One of the companies that we work with that kind of spawned this opportunity just was burning up and a lot of interviewing time, and wanted to figure out a way to kind of disconnect it as a platform. I mean, obviously early on, but allow others to participate and get peers, because they didn't necessarily have the people in a timely manner. So it germinated essentially from an internal need to just get more flexible capacity around interviewing.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it for many years. Saving time is one of the best benefits of any kind of HR tech platform out there. If you can save time for the recruiter, it's a win, and you're going to succeed in that arena. So,
right.
Hans and Amanda, appreciate you guys showing us the product today. Good luck with it, and stay in touch.
Thanks very much, Chris. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.